Hey everyone, it's AJ from Pixelize. In today's tutorial, I want to show you how you could enqueue your own style sheet scripts or JavaScripts as well if you're working either on a custom theme or maybe using someone else's theme and you want to add additional codes yourselves. Now, as you know, if you are using like a theme like I'm using at the moment, there's a little bit of in a way, difficult to put certain scripts in, and the best way to do it is add your own script. So you could add your custom CSS here and choose the styles, but if you want to do a little bit more of advanced modifications with JavaScript and CSS, it kind of becomes a pain in the backside. So the best way to do it is enqueue your own scripts, and that way you could modify the stuff. So at the moment, this is our front end. I didn't do any changes because I want to show you how it's done. Now, before we can actually enqueue this, there's two ways. You could do this the typical way when you enqueue your singular file, and each time you got hundreds of different files. You will have to do this, or you could do this in a modular way. So modular means if we look on the left side into assets and JavaScript, these scripts are all individuals, right? But modular way would be you'll have an index somewhere here, and all of them will be imported to the main index, and the main index will be enqueued, and that is just the only file that the theme would need it. So you will see how this works, and you will see what I mean by modular code. Now, what we're going to do is, first of all, you need to install Node.js. You don't need to know or learn Node. You just need it because it's backend for JavaScript. Once you have this, then you can use NPM Node package manager. Now, WordPress has developed something called WordPress scripts, and that allows you to enqueue a modular code. So instead of you doing the filtering and adding yourself, this already is pre-built for you. All you have to do is copy this command and install it. I already have installed it, so I'm going to quickly show you. You could press Ctrl and J on your VS Code, or you could go into New Terminal. Let me get rid of this one. It will open up. Now it opens up the main public file. So what you will need to do is cdn wp content, then cdn themes, cdn the theme you are working on. Now once you're in there, first you want to install Node, so you put npm init. I already have installed this because the folder pops up over here, and there's a backend JSON. So in this folder you have different modules that you could use. Now don't worry about this. This is only for development, so not for production. You could delete this, and then when you're back on development, package JSON log will know what packages you have installed. And once that is installed, then they can reinstall and bring the folders back. Now, once you install the npm, you follow the command. You copy paste this over here. Once it's initialized in package JSON, you will see in dependencies WordPress scripts. Now you could put this as a dev dependency and a dependency that your project require on. If you work in the modular code, then you would require this. Now the most important part is the script as well. So build is for once you finish production. Start script is where you working in development to start building it. And what that will do is create you a folder of build and the index and CSS. So let me quickly show you. If we enqueue first of all JavaScript, we'll save this. Now I have an index here, JS, and a code, right? So if I uncomment this, and you will notice that if I go to my front and refresh it, nothing works. It's because you need to run a command of npm run start. What that will do, it will execute the script and it will create a folder called build. And in that folder, it will create an index.js that it will read from there. Now it takes time because I'm recording it, so there you go. So the WordPress npm package, it contains like Webpack. which is for modular, so you don't have to separately install this. And you can see it created this build folder, and in there we have a index.js. Now you may ask, like, why do we need this, right? It's because if you have 100 different files, what it will do is then at the end, when you run the command npm run build, it will compile this all code into something like this. Non-human readable, but for the browser, it's readable. So that's what you want to do. You don't want to enqueue each individual script. It's just going to slow down the website. So now if we go into, if we save a file and if we go into front end, so you can tell it's being enqueued because it says hello from src folder and index.js.file. I'm going to now show you how to enqueue a modular CSS. If you go into functions, I already got the code prepared. You may think that the code, this is just enough and then it will work, but it won't, and you will see why. So if I save the file, press Ctrl C to terminate, and then npm run start, you have to restart this to run again, because every time you make changes, it will watch for the change and it will update your folder and the file with any changes. So again, we just have to wait. As you can see, it hasn't created index.css file. But if we put, for example, console.log hello, you will notice in the bottom it's going to watch for the change. And just change that. And if we go into the build, you can see it's just added, right? Now, if we go to the front end, and for example, I name this, so if we go into front, inspect this element, I'm going to show the class on this. So I added a class called h1, right? If I go to a styles, I put like h1 font size 40 pixels, color red. You will notice no change has happened, but only throwing an error, right? So you know that JS works, but you can see there's an error. And it's not finding the CSS file. You can see the JS is working. And the reason why, even though you have enqueued here, is because what you have to do is go into your index in the source file. Above it, you have to go import src style.css. Now, if we refresh it, again, it's not working. So let me just quickly take this because that's going to be annoying. It's probably the path itself is not correct. So, yeah, because it's supposed to be style index. So if we refresh this, there you go, it changed the color, but what is this now? The warning, let's have a look. Again, is this, so it's important, make sure everything's correct. There you go. So we see the heading has changed the color. And it's good that you've seen the errors because it's important. Like, what's the point of showing you if there's no errors, right? It's going to be, you're going to get stuck. You're not going to know what to do. So if we now make this, I don't know, 80 pixels, save it, refresh, became bigger, right? Now we have this paragraph as well selected, so we could go P, color, use it from here, from this, font size, I don't know, 4 pixels, BTN, I think I named that, background color, yellow, font size, 20 pixels, font weight, bold. Now, if you refresh this, I don't think I named this correct. I named it B. Why did I name the B? See, it changes. So that way you could do it. And the reason is because you could have so many CSS files. Instead of have the all in one, you could use SAS, SCSS, and you could have 100 different files, and then you compile into one file, like you have it here, right? So you don't have to worry about making sure it's compatible with the browser. It does it for you. As well, again, we could go into we could basically do this. So if you go btn equals document dot query selector b and cons para equals document dot query selector. What did I name this? B or P? P. So we selected this btn, add event listener. One click. What we want to do is maybe add a class. So this is an arrow function, by the way. We go p dot class list, no, yeah, para, that's right, dot class list dot toggle, because what we want to do is toggle when you click on and off. Let's say we want to add a class change, right? So what you will do in this case is go p dot change, and then let's say text align, center, font size 24 pixels, color yellow, right? Maybe let's put, see if the transition is going to work, or not 1:45 second is in, is in. If you refresh this, let me just close this. You can see it's working. So that way, this is the way you could load in a modular code. But make sure, what you need to make sure is that your Node.js is up to date, because I had the issues with it. Make sure you follow the path, so you go from public to WP content to themes and to your theme, and that's where you install it. And follow the instruction. When you look at the WordPress scripts, you have a commands that you need to follow. We could, for example, stop this and just run npm run test as we go here, and it says echo error no test specific. Literally spit this out the way it needs to. And every time, if you now look into JS that we built, look, it compiled. So from going from this into this, and imagine you had hundreds and hundreds of different codes. This is what you're going to be left with for your browsers to read, and your browser will understand what that is. And it's going to make it so much easier and faster to load, instead of there's a space, there's a comment, yada yada yada. That's for your development. This is for production. That way you could separate both things. So hopefully this gives you a good idea if you want to enqueue your own scripts. And yeah, look at that. So yeah, leave your comments below, and if you want more tutorials on coding like PHP, JavaScript, CSS, let me know. I could map something out, and then that way we could learn something together. So hopefully you enjoy this.